Hi. The first step is to load the website. Okay, great. Now let's log in. So I log in with Gmail, with my Gmail account. I made an account, but I actually really recommend signing in with Twitter. I heard that Twitter users get faster speeds on the website. So let's just log in here. Okay, so the first step is, first I would recommend following them on Twitter because this will give you more space, and once again it will increase the speed for you. So I don't personally do that though because I don't really need it to be fast. And then inviting all of your friends is always a good idea. So I would go ahead and invite everyone you know because then you'll get, this is speed, 50 megabytes of speed per friend, which is really fast in the end. And this is, I would recommend doing this. This is not anyone's business in my opinion. And who uses much more speed when, if you invited all your friends, this is like negligible. Okay, so to start, what I would do is I would click on the paper button, but I already created a sample paper for you. So I won't be clicking on the button, but you can go ahead and click on this button. Okay, so here is the paper. You can find this code below the video, and all you need to do is paste it in here over whatever's in your paper already. And it's going to look like this. Okay, so if you want to have like a problem answer format, I would recommend using enumerate. Ugh. Okay, so as I was saying, I would recommend using enumerate. With tech, everything has to have like a starting and an end. Like you have begin document, end document. We're having an error right now, and it's just because this page doesn't have any like content or something. So anyway, so you have a begin and end. This is just header stuff right here. I don't really know what this does. And you have to include packages for certain things, like whenever you do math, like math equations, or certain math environments, you need the amsmath package. You can't have the header without this fancy header package, and you can just basically add packages as you need them. You can either add them in here next to these with comma separating them, or you can just make a new use package, it doesn't matter. This right here, all this does is sets it to 1-inch margin, so you can manipulate this to make it, you'll probably, I guess for what you're doing, you would probably want 5-inch margins. So let's see what this looks like. Personally, I'm not into that, so I'll just show you what a nice 2-inch margin looks like, or maybe a 3-inch, because that's more, honestly, this is more of what you're going to be doing, I think. Alright, so as you see, you might have to, choose to put maybe just your initials in the header because you are, you have a smaller space to work with than what I would, but whatever, I'll just show you how I would do it. You can change the margins to be as big as you want. Okay, so the first thing is I would use the enumerate environment because it gives you the nice item number by each problem. So this is very easy. It's like problem 1, 2, 3, whatever. If instead you wanted to say problem 1.1, I guess you have a couple options. You could use itemize instead. You can use that. Environment, you put this here, and I guess I'll just show you. It doesn't really matter though, so I would look it up, I guess, if you want to change from 1, 2, 3. Anyway, so let's do a sample problem. So okay, so this is I guess this is a good example of a problem you might have. So I would type the problem out, from the book, I would type it out here because then it's really easy to study off of later. Okay, don't mind this. Just don't. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so then what you're going to do is I would add a little separator. It keeps everything looking nice. Oops. I want. And I would italicize my answer. This is the answer to the problem because then it keeps it's easy to tell what's what. And these double slashes, they are a new line. So we need one here, as you can see, because the x is on the same line as the divider, and you don't want that. Okay, so this refreshes automatically, but you can change it to manual and refresh it manually because it might speed things up. I'm going to add an extra dash in here because it looks kind of weird without another one. Okay. Let's take 2 off actually because that's going to look better. Okay, so now let's say you have to respond to this by typing up some equations or whatever. So I would recommend using begin a line because using this environment, this is a math environment, you can line up all of your equations. So So if you just type in math stuff here, it should all show up looking nice over there. And you'll need to put a new line thing at the end of each line. I'm not sure if that's right. Okay. So these aren't lined up yet. If you want to line them up by the equal sign, you can do that just by adding an ampersand in front of all equal signs. So I think this looks it's probably going to look nice for what you need to do with it. And the syntax of this stuff you can like learn as you go, but basically the caret does exponents, and then underscore does subscripts. Here we have like ki, and then for certain things like sine or sum or log of things, it's best to use the dash sine dash sum rather than, or I mean sum obviously you have to use that, but for like sine, it's best to use like dash sign because then it doesn't like italicize it. It makes it look like that. It looks better like that than just written out. Okay, so anyway, now it's lined up, and if you don't like these line numbers over here, you can remove them by adding an asterisk to the end of a line. Sometimes line numbers are nice if you want to refer to things or whatever. So anyway, this is like how you would type up an answer. This is one option. If instead you don't need like a series of equations for your answer, you can type up the answer and use a different thing for the math. So if you add the dollar sign, it makes it so the stuff you type is math. It's like math stuff, and it looks like math stuff inside of like a body of text. So if you just wanted to leave your answer in the body of text, you could do it like that. If you don't have these dollar signs, you'll get errors. Basically, I guess with errors, one way, okay, so basically whenever you use underscore, if you want to type t subscript I, you should get an error because you can't type the underscore like this outside of the math environment. So you can look at the errors up here. So you're missing a dollar sign. So if you add the dollar signs around it, it should compile. Okay, that's all you need to know.